Hello everyone, welcome to Analog IAS Current Affair Analysis for 2nd April 2021. In this video, we'll be talking about this couple of issues. This article titled Net Zero and Climate Injustice is about carbon neutrality or carbon neutral economy. Now, what do you understand by this carbon neutral economy? Basically, whenever we are talking about an economic model wherein the greenhouse gas emissions which are emitted by the factors of production are absorbed back into the system, that sort of an economic model is called a carbon neutral model. Alternatively, a economic model where there are zero emissions of any greenhouse gas emissions from our economic activities, even in that case we can call it a carbon neutral economy or zero carbon economy rather. Zero carbon economy. Now this is a best case scenario which is practically impossible at this present form of technological development. What we have to rather aim is to move towards this carbon neutral economy by adapting strategies like usage of renewable energy, recycling or reduce, reuse and recycle elements like plastic in our environment, and other principles which are considered to be sustainable. So sustainable development goals, a few of them are corresponding to resource efficiency, and this will eventually create a carbon neutral economic model. Now this is the basic premise of this article. Now what is the main issue that is being discussed? Climate justice. What do you understand by this climate justice? Now, whenever we are trying to understand the concept of climate justice, we have to understand that climate as a discussion is pertinent in the case of global commons. That is, there are certain elements in our nature which are considered to be common to the entire mankind. Safeguarding those global commons is not just the responsibility of a few countries, few individuals, few corporations, governments. It is the collective responsibility of the entire mankind. So climate action is a responsibility of not just one government but all the governments. Having said that, if we have to understand the principle of justice, let us consider in the case of our polity. We have different kinds of justices and different kinds of principles involved in ensuring this justice. So one of the common point that we talk about is affirmative action in our polity. That is a sort of a reservation system. The purpose of this reservation system or affirmative action is to empower the communities who were historically backward or denied access. Similarly, whenever we are talking about climate justice, we have to consider the worries of developing countries and underdeveloped countries. Why should we give them a special priority? If you take a look at the ills of our history, most of the recent modern history will be marked by imperialism and capitalistic economic models that followed. Because of the imperialism in Europe and the centuries later in Africa and Asia, a lot of countries in Europe prospered, but at the cost of the misery of countries like India and various other Asian countries. So keeping this in mind, taking the historical injustices that these countries faced and the sort of lack of economic development in these regions, whenever we are talking about climate justice, a principle called common but differentiated responsibility comes into picture. What does this principle say? Basically, this principle says that it is not equality that really matters, but equity. That is to say, all countries will definitely participate in this climate action, but because the developed countries had a head start, they have utilized the fossil fuels, they burned more fuels and created more number of goods by producing these fossil fuels and prospered economically. They have a historical responsibility to ensure that the brunt of this climate justice or climate injustice rather is not borne by the underdeveloped countries and developing countries. That is to say, these countries which are considered to be developed should take up more responsibility, put in more finances, more efforts to handle this climate change problems. The same was even promised 10 years back in 2010 Cancun summit, but recently we have had our finance minister raising concerns that these developing countries, which promise nearly $100 billion per year, has hardly lived up to this promise of facilitating this finance to develop technologies and mitigation strategies in developing countries and underdeveloped countries. So this is the major cause of concern. So this article also has an ethical debate to it. What is the ethical dimension? Whenever you're talking about justice, it is basically about doing what is correct after a lot of mistakes were done. Now, in the case of developed countries, they have utilized the fossil fuels and they were majorly responsible for the climate change that we are witnessing in the present format. Now, it is only fair that the developed world takes up the responsibility to handle this mess that they have created, instead of just dumping the entire responsibility equally on underdeveloped and developing countries. This is what this article is trying to say. So the ethical debate is, we have to create a moral force where the developed world is held accountable for the climate injustice that is being meted out right now. That is the focus of this article. So the major point that you have to take away is climate justice and the common but differentiated responsibility. This article is an interesting one for the essay as well. So this talks about the passion economy and the web's hot new business model. Originally, when the World Wide Web was designed, it was designed with a different intention. So in the original World Wide Web design, every user had to pay something to utilize that piece of information. But eventually they have dropped that idea because it would not be economically viable and the adaptation would be very slow. Rather, a advertiser pays model became very famous when the World Wide Web took off. So this is the original model that we are talking about. Now in recent times, ever since 2010, with the advent of social media, we are witnessing a new careers in the form of influencers. Now what do you mean by influencers? So basically, a career like a YouTuber or Instagrammer would have been considered very unrealistic a few years ago, but not right now, because a lot of people, nearly as many as 2 million people, are actually making more than $100 per annum, $100,000 per annum just through YouTube. There are 2 million such people across the world. So this shows how big this economy has become. So in this present scheme of things, we are also witnessing another sort of a model, that is, we have, apart from the advertisement revenue that these influencers get, we have brand endorsements, we have subscription based fees, we have subscribers paying them special fee for special services. All these are becoming mainstream in this industry. So what this is basically doing is, one, it is giving viewers an opportunity to understand the technicalities that go behind in making certain videos or social media content. They are getting to learn stuff, they are getting to understand the insights of the particular industry on which the channel is based. At the same time, they also provide the content creators a certain economic model. Now this is important for our discussion because at a time when we are talking about employment, ideas like this, ideas like the passion economy, will dismantle the traditional mindset that we have with respect to employment. So previously, unless and until we get a 9 to 5 job, it is not considered to be employment. But right now, whatever is making money is considered an employment. Imagine a Uber driver who is also a YouTuber, just blogs about his rides every single day. Uh, Maybe that is his side gig. We are talking about a gig economy. At the same time, if he is also a YouTuber, he makes certain money out of that YouTube. In fact, just to quote an example, there are a few YouTube channels that create moto vlogs, and actually the main business of these moto vloggers is bike mechanic shops or the normal automobile engineering stuff that goes behind this biking. So that way they have turned their passion into an economic model. So this is the new business model that India can experiment with, given the fact that we have such a wide young crowd. That is the gist of this article.